Hey everyone, I'm Joe Ferzoco.
And I'm Chris Ferzoco. And in this video, we're going to be looking at market statistics, and we're going to look at May of 2024 versus April of 24. And what we're going to look at today is we're going to be looking at all property from the MLS, Joe. So meaning it could be commercial, it could be a vacant lot, it could be a beachfront, efficiency, whatever that is on the multiple listing. We're going to be taking a look at the statistics of the actual sales value of the property.
All right.
We're going to look at the number of properties that came up for sale. We're going to look at the number of properties that sold, meaning they closed. And then we're going to take a look at the sale price to list price ratio as well.
All right, fantastic. Hey, and if this is your first time through the channel, you want the most up-to-date market information or happenings down here at the Jersey Shore. Not that Jersey Shore. What do we got? Brigantine, Ventnor, Margate, Longport, Ocean City, Sea Isle, Strathmere, Stone Harbor, Avalon, North Wildwood, Wildwood Crest, West Wildwood, Lower Township, North Cape May Courthouse, Upper Township, EHT, and Summers Point. If I missed you, sorry about that. We want the most up-to-date market information on all those. Please subscribe below, tap that bell for notifications, and please hit that like button, and you will be the first to get the most up-to-date information down here at our Jersey Shore. So, Chris, why don't you get us started here with some of our towns?
Yeah, Joe. So down here in our Jersey Shore, the southern part of New Jersey, we're going to start in Ocean City, and we're going to take a look at, again, the overall value there. And what we're looking at is that value actually dropped about 12%. And it's the first time in a while that the overall value dropped below $1 million. That was a little surprising here coming into the month of May. Going to be interesting to watch naturally because we're in really the middle of that spring market headed into summer. So see if that's going to push the values up a bit there. So we did actually see a slight decline there. Again, about 12%. We dropped more from about 1.13 down to just under, right under $1 million at 995. When you look at the number of properties that actually came on the market, though, we virtually had a very slight change. It went up 4.5%. Now, that might not sound like a whole lot. The actual numbers weren't a whole lot. We had 105 lists in April. We had 110 lists in the month of May. And it's actually been very consistent in Ocean City, right around that number there of that 105, 110 in that area there.
Okay.
And I can tell you that right now for sale, there's only about 333 all property for sale. That's been very consistent in Ocean City as well over the last several months. That number hasn't really changed. It might go up, Joe, a little bit here and there. Like maybe you get to pop to 350, but it's right again. Sometimes it drops down to 280, but it's been sticking right in that number. So we're not seeing any major changes at all in the inventory, which is for the areas I'm going to be covering, that's pretty much held true to form. When you look at the actual number of properties that closed, we actually had 48 properties sell in April, 48 closed in May. So they're very consistent there in the number of properties that are going under contract and then actual closing. As for the overall sale price to list price, the same. Actually, it was 97%. So you're still getting the same actual overall sales value to the actual list price as well.
Okay.
Moving down a bit into Sea Isle City. This actually, Sea Isle dropped like Ocean City, just about 8.5% there. And Sea Isle went from 1.73 down to 1.58. Okay. So we had a slight drop there in the overall value. Sea Isle, for the number of properties that came on the market, was virtually the exact same. You had 11 come on this month versus the 12 in April. So again, those numbers virtually the exact same, staying very consistent in the number of homes coming up for sale and available. As to the number of properties that closed, we had a massive jump. We actually went from 9 in April up to 19 in May. Okay. And just to be clear, when we look at these massive jumps, Joe, really what that means is that these properties went under contract at some point in time, probably somewhere in March or April. They closed in May, which is our prime selling season, March and April, right? So it makes sense that that number spiked up that, 111%, up to 19. As for the overall sale price, list price to sale price, we actually got, went out increase there up 3% to 97%. So although the values maybe dropped a little bit, you're actually getting a little bit more in the overall value at the end of the day.
All right, fantastic. Yeah. And when we jump down a little bit down the Parkway there a little bit, Chris, so we go into the Wildwoods, it was interesting to see that, a lot of the feel for the month of May compared to April was, like April was sort of this, we're just kind of trugging along here, like, my God, what are these numbers going to look like? And then, we got into May, and, you start to look at some of these stats we're going to get into, in the Wildwoods, like solds and actives. There wasn't really any sort of like, oh wow, man, there was a massive like decline every single town. There was down. It didn't happen. So if we go into North Wildwood, your average sale price, that was down 22%. Your average sale price was $552,000 for the month of May. number of properties that were listed for sale, that dropped. There was only 38 that came on the market. That was a 14% decrease in the amount of properties that came on. However, we had a 21% increase in the amount of properties that actually closed. So there was 24 that closed. So, again, you're kind of looking at that. These were under contract in potentially late March, early April. Now they're closing in the month of May, getting in before Memorial Day. So that's where you see that spike in the amount of properties that closed. Your average list price to sale price, that was hovering right around 96%. As I said, 576,000 was the list price, 552 was the sale price. We go into Wildwood, again, average sale price dropped about 21%, down to 425,000. List price in the month of sale price in the month of April was 540, so another drop there. I will say, Chris, that I'm looking at the towns down here in the southern half of the county, except for Cape May and like the Sea Point Village, Diamond Beach Market, all of the sale prices were down, and down at least 20+%. So there was a pretty significant drop in the average sale price for the month of May compared to April. So we'll have to monitor that as well. But as far as properties that were listed for sale, pretty identical in Wildwood. We had 20 in April, 20 in May. Number of properties that closed, we had 16 closed, which was about a 36% drop. So in Wildwood, we did have a decrease in the number of transactions. What does that mean? It means you had less properties going under contract in March and April. It's kind of all over the place. What we are seeing, though, still is the very tight number of properties listed, number of properties closed. There is no massive disparity between where, okay, goodness, we had 100 properties come on the market and we had 20 closed. Like, boom, we're building this inventory. It's just not, it's 16 come on, 22 closed, 38 come on, 24 closed. Like, there's not this massive change. List price to sale price, again, running around 99%. List price was 429, sold price was 425, so right in there. Jumping into Wildwood Crest, your average sale price, that did go up 3%. The only place in lower half of the county that did go up, average sale price was 758,000. Number of properties that came on, that dropped 38%. You only had 16 come on in the Crest. Number of properties that closed, we only had 22, which was about a 24% decrease. Again, 16 come on, 22 sell. Not a big separation there. The average list price to sale price was exactly 100%. List price was $757, sale price was $758. So getting top dollar still based on what you're listing. You go into Sea Point Village, Diamond Beach. We always kind of joke about this because sometimes you have 0 transactions for the month. Nothing comes on, nothing sells. So in the month of May compared to April, your average sale price was up 31% because it was $1,033,000. The average sale price in April was $715,000. We had 7 properties come on the market, which is great because that was, again, something good. We had the same amount last month come on the market. Now, we did have 8 closed, but that was a 75% increase, which means we only had like 2 closed in April. So, again, yeah, it's a big number, but you didn't have a lot closing the month before. And they were running the average sale price was, list price to sale price was 102%. So your average sale price was $1,031,000. Your average sale price was $1,033,000. And lastly, in Cape May, your average sale price was actually almost identical to the month of April, 1.53, 1.54 in April. We did have 11 properties come on the market, which was a pretty big drop. There was a 39% decrease in the number of properties that were listed for sale in Cape May. We do have some clients that are looking at Cape May, and it's like every day they're like, my God, Joe, I don't see anything coming on the market. Be patient. They're going to come on, that's for sure. Number of properties that closed, that was a jump. There was a 25% increase. We had 8 closed. Number of list price to sale price, there was a drop there. 1.63 was the average list price in the month of May, and the average sale price was 1.53. So it was about a 94% list price to sale price. So even though the sale prices were identical month to month, people tried to list, listing properties, agents listing properties a little bit higher in the month of May, not necessarily getting the return on your list price to sale price. So I know you want to jump offshore a little bit too, Chris, to see what's going on there.
Yeah, I'm just going to actually jump right over into Upper Township, Joe, and take a look at that. Now, the actual sales value price is actually ridiculously lower than where it was in the month of April. Month of April was over $1 million for Upper Township. Now it's down to 623. So we're not going to really talk about that too much. I mean, there's any number of variables there. It could have been some new constructions. Yeah, no, and that's not it. So it could have been any number of variables there, but it's pretty much on par at the 623. It's in and around that number all the time. Maple, I think we even said that in the last video, was kind of an oddity there that it had jumped up so high. But taking a look at now the number of properties that came up for sale, though, did actually jumped up actually fairly significantly 25 properties came on the market in the month of May versus 14 in April, which is interesting. It does kind of tell you, look, historically, June is a big selling month in real estate. People are gearing up to sell for the summer. They're going to make their move, and people are going to get settled for summer. Boom, school year starts. So that's how that all kind of transacts here. So that's not overly surprising that you had 25 properties come on the market this month versus 14. You had 16 close this month versus 7. So again, gearing up towards that, you had, those 7 in April close. That means that 7 was in February or March under contract. The 16 here in May, that's under contract in March or April. They're closing out. So you're starting to see some of these numbers pick up here in the offshore market, the primary homes. And it would not shock me to see that trend continue this month here. What's really interesting is, though, you are seeing an increase in the actual sales sale price versus list price. You got 97% versus 93% in April. So, again, that sales value is way down, but the list prices are staying very consistent. I can tell you most of the sale prices are still bumping up very consistently here in Upper Township, and now you're actually getting more of the actual sales price as well increased. So that's very positive for sellers. Number of homes coming on the market is very positive for the buyers that are out there as well. Cool. Moving up into Atlantic County, into Summers Point, we actually had an increase in value there. We jumped up about 19%, up to $473,000 as your average sales price in Summers Point. The number of properties that came up for sale dropped ever so slightly. Went from 29 down to 21. That's about a 27+% there, but still consistent. You're in the 20s of homes coming on the market in Summers Point, creating a lot of variety. The number of properties actually sold actually went up. We went up 62%, Joe. We went from 8 in April to 13 in May. And then the actual sales price, again, is staying consistent. You had 98 in April, 99% in May. So you get, again, in Summers Point, number of the sales price is up, and what you're getting overall value is up as well. So it's just a great time right now for sellers in the Summers Point market, and just staying consistent with actually new homes coming on the market. Actually, one of the most consistent towns that I've seen in the areas that we're covering.
Oh, that's great news for the folks there in Summers Point, that's for sure. So when we jump back down into the North Cape May market, and then we'll hit Cape May Courthouse as well. So North Cape May, your average sale price was down 16% the month of May. $494,000 was your average sale price in North Cape May. We had a 60% increase in the amount of properties that came on the market in the month of May. It was a total of 15, but again, April was a little bit slow down in the North Cape May market as far as listings come on the market. As far as properties, the number of properties that sold, pretty identical to April. We had 8 in April, 8 in May, so pretty right there. Your average sale price, we were running right around 95% list price to sale price, and that does start to happen. So now your average list price is $518,000. You've broken that ceiling of $500,000, so you're at $518,000, but now you're only getting 95% of your list price to sale price, with your average sale price being $494,000. So something to kind of monitor there a little bit as well. Finally, in Cape May Courthouse, your average sale price was down 16% as well. $444,000 was your average sale price for the month of May. Actually, I'm sorry, the average sale price was up 16% in Cape May Courthouse with 444. Yeah,
up is better.
Up is always better. $444,000 was your average sale price in Cape May Courthouse for the month of May. You had 28 properties come in the market, which was also an increase of over 30%. The number of properties that closed, we only had 8 sell, which was down about 33%. So something to watch there. And as far as your list price to sale price, again, just like North Cape May, average sale price was 95. List price to sale price was 95%, $465,000 list price, and your average sale price was $444,000. So Chris, that's going to kind of wrap it up here for our monthly stats, the month of May versus the month of April. Of course, if you want a little bit more information, maybe a little bit more, drill down on your specific property, if you're looking to sell here in the next week, month, 6 months, or a year, please feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or an email. It'll be our pleasure to help you with all of your real estate needs here at the shore if you are looking to sell. And of course, if you're looking to purchase as well, never been a better time. We talk about these properties that are coming on the market. Maybe you can get in there before the 4th of July or even before Labor Day. Make all your dreams come true and owning at the shore. So give us a call, shoot us a text or an email. We can certainly help you with all of your real estate needs down here at our Jersey Shore. Why don't you put a bow on that, Chris, and what do we got going?
Well, I think, Joe, when you kind of look at the stats that are out there, there's not a lot of surprises. I think that one thing I would have expected maybe would have been a little bit more of a robust market in the number of properties coming up for sale.
Yeah.
You're kind of hitting that springtime. People want to make the move. They've noticed notice it staying consistent or values continuing to slightly move up in most areas, not necessarily the big jumps. As for the buyers, I mean, look, you're seeing there's just consistent numbers now of properties coming up for sale. There's no like, whoa, man, all of a sudden we had a spike.
Yep.
There's none of that. So if you're on the sidelines waiting for like this big spike, you're going to be on the sidelines for a long time. This market isn't really going anywhere anytime soon. This is just the reality that we're in. So if you're looking at buying right now, it is a great time. There are people sitting on the sidelines that are waiting for that perfect home too, just like you are. So if you're going to jump in on something, more than likely somebody else as well is going to as well. So you're just losing opportunity for yourself. So there's really no reason to put your plans on hold any longer than what you're doing. And ultimately, right now, as you said, it's a great time to be selling and buying. There is inventory. There's opportunity price-wise as well. So, and for sellers, look, I mean, the market's just up. I mean, who knows where that's going to go from here. So, just a lot of great positive signs, really, Joe. I mean, real estate is moving along. This is what we've been doing now. These numbers are consistent over the last, I mean, we can't even say 6 months. It's been 2 years. These numbers are consistent. This is what we're living in.
Absolutely.
So it's great.
All right, well, we'll put a bow on that and wrap it up for May versus April. And until next time, we'll see you at the beach.